Let's start the session with a small prayer. If you're sitting in a chair, keep your feet down and touch Mother Earth. Feel the grounding underneath feet. If you are in Swastikasana, cross-leg posture, feel your glutes, legs grounded. Slowly being aware of your pubic area, lower abdomen, chest muscles. Lift them up, up, and up. Keep your torso up. Let the spinal muscles be naturally erect with all the curvatures. Make sure your head is in line with the torso. You're tall, head connected to the cosmos. Well aligned by the left side and right side of your body. Now switch your awareness slowly to the breath. Your breath is already deep with the postural awareness. Being aware of the body and going beyond. We will chant 3 Omkaras. Inhale along with me. Quietening yourselves down. Listen to the shloka. Parasharyavachaha sarojamamalam gītāर्थadgandhotkatham nānākhyanaka kesaram harikatha sambodhana bodhitam loke sajjana षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं दा भूयात् भारत पङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे. Simple Bani. So in the previous class, we were discussing how the sense organs and the contact of sense organs with the sense objects can make the mind distracted, as mind is the king of all sense organs. And how, like an illustration that Bhagavan Shri Krishna was mentioning, how a tortoise can flinch all his limbs inside when there is risk or danger coming. That is exactly how the sense organs should be employed, with a safer distance possibly maintained between the organ and the object. Now, in that continuation, he is furthermore explaining the reason why. Why do we employ safer distance between organs and the objects? And how a jnani, a wise, enlightened person, how does he holds himself in that pratyahara, in that state of sensory control, mastery over senses. 2.59, you can repeat after me. Vishaya vinivartante. Vishaya vinivartante. Niraharasya dehinaha. Niraharasya dehinaha. Rasavarjam rasopyasya. Rasavarjam rasopyasya. Param drishtva nivartate. Param drishtva nivartate. Sometimes I feel I should not speak and just chant shlokas. Sometimes the shlokas themselves, without even knowing the meaning, they say so much to you. Okay. Vishayar vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. To the embodied souls. Why he is saying dehinaha to the embodied souls? Who are we? We are all soul embodied bodies. We think this body is us and our soul is inside this body. But for an enlightened being, how does he perceive that he is that self? And this body is just a covering. So to an enlightened being, all the sense objects vinivartante, kind of drop, fall off. All the sense organs, sense objects fall off. Why do they fall off? How do they fall off? Fall off from their state of importance. They are no more significant now. Why and how? Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Because the enlightened being, the wise sadhaka, or whom we call as sthita prajna, the person of steady wisdom, to him, there is no longing remaining. He has no longing for sense objects now. Does that mean that he had dropped all his desires and had been dry? This question have been re-answered many a time in our classes, in our Swadhyaya classes. No, he is not dry. Just like the trees fall off, the leaves of the trees fall off in the autumn on their own, being matured, light, the longing towards sense objects wither away, fall off on their own. How is this happening? Param drishtva nivartate. Because there is something more joyful and delightful for him. Like, for example, if I give you a book to read and a lollipop, what will you choose? definitely a book to read, because we don't have flair for lollipops anymore. But to a child, it is definitely lollipop, right? Slowly, when we mature, our tastes differ. Our taste towards objects escalates in a different manner, right? This comes with age, this comes with maturity. But here, aging is not the thing. Here, mental maturity, mental purification being the purport. His taste for lowly sense objects wither away. He becomes a great abstinent on his own by enjoying the delight of being with himself. What we call as meditation, being with one own self. Okay. Now, now we have understood the meaning of the shloka, but we will understand, we'll delve deep in this. It is just a quick outline of the meaning. Here there are keywords. As I say, every shloka has some keywords in it. So we have to take that inner meaning, the esoteric meaning of the keywords, and then take it away or imbibe it in our day-to-day life. So the first keyword is nirahara. Ahara means food. Nirahara means no food. What is food? We know that. Define food. We have learned so many times in our school. It is the perfect combination of carbohydrates, fats, minerals, vitamins, water, proteins in a balanced manner. But yogic philosophy mentions clearly about ahara. Even Gita, in Gita, we will be learning various types of food: sattvic ahara, rajasic ahara, and tamasic ahara. Is it really food that we consume through our taste, through our sense organ, tongue? No. This is not just food that we consume through our tongue. This is ingestion of any raw material into your system through all different openings. Whatever that you see is what you consume. Whatever that you hear is your ahara. Whatever you eat, yes, definitely, is your ahara. Whatever you take it to the skin, so many creams, great lotions, sunscreens, whatever that you take through your skin is also ahara. Now, Patanjali Maharshi specifically talks about having a watch over what you consume. It is not eating. No? There are certain religions in this Bharat, in this India, which only focuses upon diet. That is not only diet. Dieting or nourishing oneself should have watch over what you see, what you listen to, what you talk, or whom do you converse with. No? And all that with your skin also. All that you apply over the skin also. Everything has to be watched over. Now, in this shloka, Krishna smartly puts an enlightened being to be nirahara. He does not provide food to the eyes. He does not provide food to the smelling organ nose. He does not put anything to his tongue. Does that mean that he keeps his eyes closed, ears shut, not eat anything, lives on leaves, aparna? Does that mean this statement? No. Nirahara here means having a watch over the amount of input. A guru is always watchful about his environment where he lives, or he is again very secured, very, what should I say, very watchful, careful about the environment his shishya will be exposed to. Why? This will all hamper his sadhana, any sadhana for that matter. Okay, you do yoga sadhana, you do meditation, you do pranayama, or you just take care of your body with your kriya sessions, whichever sadhana you, or you're just closing your eyes doing the japa yoga, mantra yoga for morning and evening, twice before bed, early in the morning. Any sadhana for that matter, you should be careful in selecting your ahara. Why? So I'm going back a little towards the basic text of Hindu culture, which are the Vedas. Vedas believe that these sense organs are Yajnavedi. What are Yajnavedi? That which has the fire ritual sanctum sanctorum. And whatever you put inside this fire Vedi, the oblations like ghee, wooden sticks, are that you input, not the sense objects. How do you pleasantly see different forms, beautiful things, and then give food to your eyes, something like that. Now, the oblations, when you put more ghee, more wooden sticks to the fire, what happens? The fire shines up, blazes up, right? The more blazing of the fire, more the energy is consumed. More prana is consumed. More vital energy is influenced. What do we say in yoga? Conservation of energy. Equanimous distribution of energy. Yeah, that is what we have learned. What do you rather do? Will you employ more engagement of sense objects to the sense organs? Or you will disemploy, maintain a safe distance from these sense organs, sense objects with your sense organs, to keep your prana alive, to keep your prana kicking, to keep your prana equanimously distributed amongst all these 7 chakras. The one and only key is to keep yourself as a safeguard. What does a safeguard do? He will have a watch to keep things away. To keep the thieves away, the watchman helps the master. Yeah. So these are all the thieves. Vedas mention that these sense objects are thieves. What do the thief do? What does the thief do? He takes all the wealth away. Which is your wealth? Your wealth is your realizing your true nature. If your wisdom is lost, you identify yourself. Vritti sarupyam itaratra, says Patanjali. All the other vrittis, all the other formations of this mind, you get engaged with it and then starts to identify that this ego is me. This ego is me. The thief will allow you to believe that you are this ego. You have to enjoy this pleasure. Oh, this trouble is created by the nagging neighbor. No? All these are falsely identifying yourself or ego identifications. And Veda says, get away. Get away from these thieves. Be a safeguard of your own self. And for that, what you have to do? Vishaya vinivartante. You have to maintain a safe distance. Why it is so nice to have a horse ride. Why don't I, if I find a horse, why don't I ride on the horse? There's nothing wrong. But what happens? The the first 7 days, you take the horse to ride, you enjoy the ride, and slowly develop attachments with the horse. You slowly develop the attachment to the habit of riding the horse. And slowly, by the end of 2 weeks, you realize, oh, I didn't do anything productive today. Oh, I didn't have my me time. Oh my God, I've lost the sense of being joyful. Why? I don't get the horse. I don't get to ride a horse. This is exactly what sense organs do. Create a psychological, I call this a psychological dependence. I was, okay, I am mindfully distracting the subject, but still, it's a thing to ponder over. I was counseling a female of around 50-year-old. Again, we are all troubled with all the attachments possible, attachments to the body, attachment to the objects, to the assets, attachments to the relationships, no, to the situations, perhaps. Sometimes it so happens that we feel safe and secure in the situation, so we keep on tending towards the situation. So I was mentioning this. You're what? You're 50-year-old now. Have you focused on having a good house? Yes, I have. Good. You have a shelter. Good. Have you focused upon um, the medical facilities available? In India, we have to be very careful about that. The hospital should not be far away. You have to be in the vicinity of the hospitals. So you have a medical insurance in your hand. Your hospital is near. Are you financially independent? You start to think about all these things once you hit 50, right? Every human, not only that woman, but every human being does. But have we ever thought about securing ourselves from psychological dependence? Have we ever thought of working on being independent, rather not getting enslaved by objects and people? No. Then I said, see, now you're 50, you find yourself to be strong. Have you ever talked to your mother? She is around 70. How does she behave? Oh, she is always complaining. She's gruesome, grumbling about things, about the past. Not frequently visiting her. I said, poor thing, don't complain about your mother, because this is exactly how we will stay. This is the same state by around 60s and 70s. We get to psychologically depend upon people. And how do we safeguard from that? That should be your priority right now. She said, "Aap sahi keh rahe hain. You're right. What should we do?" Start practicing emotional distancing from people, emotional distancing with objects, sense objects. Switch off the air conditioner and try to sleep sometimes. You know, starting from that, are you capable? Forget people. We will work on our sensory objects first. Here in Indic culture, there's so much of prominence given to fasting. What is fasting? Nirahara. Huh? Not having food of particular kind, not having food at all, being on water, being on honey water, nothing like that. Huh? But have we ever fasted on not having the objects? Simply put, not having the spell smartphone for three hours put together, not having the Wi-Fi connection. Hmm? This is the real fast. This is real Nirahara. This is exactly maintaining safe distance from sense objects and sense organs. Guruji Dr. H.R. Nagendra used to say, he's a physicist, he was a scientist, NASA scientist. So he used to explain everything in the form of formulation of science. So he says, when there is communion of sense organ and sense object, there emerges a reaction. I said, what? Reaction called bhoga, experience. Oh, nice, I can experience. But he says with a smile, bhoga is of two kinds. It is pleasant, it is unpleasant. You seem to see that when there is a sense object and there is a sense organ, there's always a pleasant experience. No, sometimes communion of sense organs and sense object also gives rise to unpleasant feelings. What do they do in entirety? As an outcome, it sorts of drains your prana. It is pranic draining when you engage your sense organs with sense objects. Simply put, you go for a movie. The movie is long, 4-hour movie. What happens after the movie? You try to grab some coffee, even though you loved the movie, because it was too much. You wanted coffee to get over the headache. You were waiting for this train travel. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a vacation. This train is going to give me the scenic beauty of Western Ghats of India. Wow, I'm gonna see all the mountains there. No? Rich, dark, dense forests, lovely, caves in, caves out. My God, it's going to be wonderful train trip. Okay, so you sit in the train, 2 hours, 3 hours. What happened to all the scenic beauty that you wanted to have? It is no more beautiful. This is the play game of, this is the gameplay of your sense organs. It always has this thirst. And to quench the thirst, you try to sort of get those objects and then put it inside this Yajnavedhi. You put all the oblations in the Yajnavedhi, the fire starts to blaze more. Huh? And then you put more, the fire starts to blaze more. You feel like, oh my God, I'm in a rat race now. I can't quench my thirst. This fire can't be quenched. So there is no end to this. When we talk about mastery over thoughts, when we talk about mastery over mind, the first and foremost thing Adi Shankaracharya says, practice Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Dhamma is not asthma. Dhamma in Hindi means asthma. Dhamma in Sanskritam means control over indriyas, sensory control over sense objects. How do you control? By not providing the food, That is one thing. By safely distancing oneself from the object, that is another thing. But will it do? Have you ever thought? The more you refrain yourself from the cigarette, the more you will be attracted to the cigar. Yeah. So emotionally and physically distancing alone will not help. Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva. Focus on what is more supreme. Because mind always has to perch on the bark of joy. Yeah. What are the two objectives of life? You know what are the two objectives of life? Any guess? What do you want in life?
Attaining enlightenment, self realization.
Is that exactly what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
Health and wealth.
Health and wealth. You put any name to it. Sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. You want joy, you want to get rid of sorrows. You name it health, you name it wealth, you name it peace, you name it enlightenment. Every being, even an ant, okay? The ant starts to move. It will not run up, but it will run down anyhow. If it starts moving, it found some dukkha here. It was troubled here. Hence, it wants to move towards sukha. I'm twisting my body. I was uncomfortable there. I have twisted my spine. Now I'm feeling okay. Every little movement, every little thought, the throb of our life, it is the throb of our life, is towards this orientation of sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. Now, when I say maintain safe distance from the sense objects, what sukha you will get? Either you become dry or you fall for that psychological dependence. You become a drug addict. I call them as a drug addict. You get addicted to that object. Okay, when I say you fast today, okay, you fast today, but your fast is only for 3 hours. You're not going to have salt. All the time you will feel dizzy. Oh my God, there's no salt in my food. Safe distance will not help. Safe distance along with that joy given to the mind. How am I going to provide joy when the sense object is away? I thought joy is dependent on the sense object. You give me salt in the food, I'll be happy. Simple. But you're saying both the ways. That's the key. Find something superior than the salt in the diet, which is more joyful, more peace providing. What is it? Communion with self. Hence, practice of meditation is equally important. Param drishtva. Have an eye. Perceive the supreme self all the time. When you are in that perception, when you are in that self-awareness, you are sturdy. You are strong enough. When I say 3 hours, no salt diet, you're going to engage those 3 hours in cyclic meditation with me. It's easy. It becomes easy. Lovely. I'm going to do different postures. I'm going to take some relaxation techniques. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do pranayama. Lovely. Why do people go for ashram livings? There is safe distance and there is also perception of higher self. Going both hand in hand together. Not just fasting for life. Some people fast for life and then say, oh, it is not beneficial anymore. Why? Because fasting is done for autophagy. I am thinking that my cancer cells will destroy through my fast. When there is intent towards that sense object, sorry to say, it will not help. It will not help. What should be the intent? The intent should be restoring peace. And these are the means to handle myself, my inhibitions, to reach that self or to reach that bliss. So it has to go hand in hand together. Emotional distancing and employing your mind into self. Moving your journey inward. This is the secret of the sadhaka. Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. I'll finish with a small story. There was a story about Saurabha, Shauravi in Bhagavatam. He wanted to meditate. He wanted to do sadhana. Hence, he thought, okay, I have to safely distance myself from the sense objects. If I'm going to be in the cave, no, there would be some flower. If I'm going to be underneath tree, there would be some birds. No? So what I'll do, I'll go underneath water. Underwater. He goes underwater, sits, meditates. Somehow even there, he could find something so charming. He comes out of the water, gets engaged, forgets sadhana, and leads a normal life, dies with all the troubles. Story end. So, there is nothing in this universe which has the power to stop the powerful, the prowessful sense organs. They are very strong. Very, very strong. Why? Because sense organs also act in your memory. Why does it become very hard for people who become sober? They always give the dates. Sober for 6 months. Sober for 8 months, 21 days. Why do they remember this much? Because this communion of sense organs and sense object is at the chitta level, memory level. It is easy for them to bounce back. Why? Not because they are misled, not because they are weak. Of course they are weak, but the primary primary reason is that strong sense organ, strong rasanendriya, strong tongue towards the taste of alcohol. They can get back so easily. Forget being sober. If I had 14 lives previously, okay, for example, this is my 15th life. My sense organs, which acts through the chitta, has the innate memory of all 14 lives. And this happens. This many times happened. So I I am a woman from southernmost province of India. India is the largest, it's a subcontinent, it's the largest country. But when I came here, um, there used to be a khichdi, rice and pulses together. But this is more of a millet khichdi, bajra khichdi, which is just found in the dry deserts of Rajasthan. Not much of such food item is found anywhere or cooked anywhere in the other province. I had good taste for it. Nobody likes black khichdi. I loved it. And then that Marwadi, the Rajasthani friend of mine used to say, how is that possible that you have the tongue for this? See, the prowess of sense organ. So it is very difficult. It's not easy. Today's lesson that we have to imbibe in the daily life is very, very hard. Safe distancing from the object is very difficult. Hence, remember what illustration Krishna gives? Close down, shut down, be a tortoise. When you become a tortoise, there is no options available. You will imbibe naturality. Even during sadhana, even during yoga practice, for that matter, I've seen people becoming someone else than being. They try to perfect their posture. They try to relax like this. I said, when I relax like this. So why do you have to relax? Why do you have to loosen your shoulders like this all the time? Why do you have to do? Let go. And then always aware that, okay, this feet is twisted to this side. I have to be. Oh, Lalita voice is coming from here. Why am I switching my body? I have to switch back to Lalita's voice plane. No? All these things are happening. It is more of being. We are ordained to so much of perfections. This is perfect, this is right, this is wrong. So many ordinances, so many compulsive ordinances created by one's own self. Don't blame your childhood memories. Don't blame your parents' upbringing. Please stop doing that. When you start understanding the problem is here within, then only you will work. Otherwise, it will not work. It's easy to speak against people. It is us. Why am I compulsively thinking about that suffering? Why? Why am I scratching my wound? Why am I doing that? In all the bright sides, I could see the downside. What's my problem? I am becoming someone. I am identifying myself with the ego. What is not? Vritti sarupyam itaratra. All the other, sorry, I couldn't explain that. All the other states, other than the state of yoga, is vritti. Patanjali says. What is vritti? Whirlpool. The whirlpool that we create for ourselves. All the other states are that. What is the state of yoga? Identify yogaha, chitta vritti nirodha, identifying with your self-consciousness. Complete mastery of mind. So, mind, when you talk about mind conclusively, let me wrap up. Conclusively, when we talk about mind, there are dimensions of mind. Because mind has no structure or form. Okay? If it had been Veda, my daughter. Okay, she has a form, she has a name. I'll get hold of her. Veda, you were distracted. Now it's your study time. No? You can do that. But mind is no form. In fact, the form changes. When I say Veda, my mind has become Veda, my daughter. When I say Donald Trump and Narendra Modi, my mind had become that. No? So there is no form as such. And the forms keeps on changing, transforming moment to moment. So we have to work on all dimensions. Hence I'm saying, you work on your chitta level, you work on your memory level, you work on your sense organ level, you work on your right information, wrong information, the conjunction of right and wrong, which is more right, which is less wrong, no, all those things. This intellect level. This is intellect level. This is buddhi. And of course, thoughts. Mind is conglomeration of thoughts. You have to work on thoughts. Manaha. And the last one, the stronger one, is ahankara, which keeps on saying, this is Lalita. Lalita is me. I is Lalita. I is this body. He had insulted this. She had spoken ill of this. You have to work on all dimensions. Only then, slowly, there would be progress. Progress where? Progress in your mind, progress in your prana, progress in your body. Believe me, progress in your career. Believe me, progress in your prosperity. This is the key to success. You read many books. You read many books. How to become a billionaire, how to become a millionaire, huh? How to succeed in married life. That's more important. There's always a philosophical base. And what does that philosophical base say? Get hold of yourself. Get hold of yourself. To get hold of yourself, you work on your mind. Mind is so tricky. Mind is so filthy. Why should I work on it? Because mind is filthy, mind is tricky, and mind at the same time, simultaneously, mind is the healer, mind is the upbringer, mind is the kindler to progress. What do? You have to work on Veda. You have to work on this child. So I'll end here. I don't know why Veda came in all this.